Welcome to our Dancing with Parkinson's, an introduction to the joy of the introduction to the joy and benefits of movement. I want to thank you all for joining us today and invite you to continue to check out some of the amazing resources, supports, and programs that we have available at PSSO. Everything from our e-newsletters to up-and-coming information is all available through our website at www.psso.ca. And we have our regional spring conference coming up, and this is taking place Saturday, April 29th at the Fogelar Furland in Windsor. This is one of our premier educational events offered throughout the year, and we will be joined by 3 medical professionals lending their perspective and updates on Parkinson's disease. We know that Parkinson's is a complex disease which requires a holistic and layered approach for symptom management and improved quality of life. So from the lab to the clinic, PSSO's Spring Regional Conference speakers will discuss the biochemistry and recent advancements of Parkinson's disease research, disease management tools for healthy lifestyles, and new developments in cognition for brain health. So join us for this wonderful day of education, support, and community connection. We offer this conference both in person and streamed virtually, so it is a hybrid event. So for those outside of the Windsor area looking to join us, they can still do so through watching virtually. And PSSO would like to acknowledge and thank the Ontario Trillium Foundation for generously supporting all of our educational initiatives. And before we begin, I would like to have a quick medical disclaimer that the information in today's webinar is for the purpose of health education and is not intended or should be intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Consult and review information with your physician or qualified healthcare professional regarding your medical condition and treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regime. This information is not intended to replace medical advice offered by physicians. All right, so on to the fun stuff. So today we are joined by Sarah Robichaud. Sarah is a classically trained dancer and choreographer who graduated from the, I'm going to try not to say this, Bolshoi Ballet.
Bolshoi, yeah.
Bolshoi Ballet in Moscow. Transitioning from dance, Sarah became a North American fitness expert on CBS Early Morning Show and CBS's Stephen and Chris. She is also a published health and fitness author. Sarah's passion for dancing with Parkinson's ignited in 2007 when working as a personal trainer with Andy Barry to help him find ways to physically help his body manage his PD through movement. This inspired by the Mark Morris Dance Group Innovation PD dance class and immediately trained with them in NYC. Sarah is now the only certified Canadian for the Dance with PD method and is the founding member of the Dance for PD Network Canada. So thank you for joining us today, Sarah, and we are excited to hear more about Dancing with PD.
Thank you so much, Casey. Thanks everybody for coming to learn a little bit more. Some of you I know, so it's really nice to see your faces. Thank you for joining us. And some of you, I hope I get to know better. As Casey said, at any point, just put your hand up if you want to ask a question while I'm talking. We can keep this like super casual and informal. I really just want to tell you a little bit about how our program got started and why we should all be dancing and how you can get involved. So just as Casey had introduced me, I was a professional ballet dancer. And I went to Moscow for my graduating year. And once I finished dancing in classical ballet, I transitioned into doing like musical theater and choreography and all of those fun things. And it was in my early 20s, I got certified as a personal trainer, just like Casey said, and started working with a man named Andy Barry. And if you're from the Toronto area, that name might be familiar. So Andy Barry was a very well-known radio broadcaster on CBC Metro Morning. And I guess 15, 16, maybe 17 years ago-ish, Andy was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And his neurologist, Dr. Anthony Lang, who works out of Western Hospital at the Movement Disorder Clinic, he's sort of like he's a very well-known neurologist who's doing a lot of research in Parkinson's disease and patient care. He recommended that Andy start exercising because, as we, I think, all know, no matter what we're up against, moving the body, strengthening the body, our hearts as well, conditioning our hearts is just good for us, right? Then with Parkinson's disease, a neurological disorder that affects the part of the brain that helps to initiate movement, even more important that we work on the physicality of our body. So Andy hired me as his trainer and he said, "What do you know about Parkinson's disease?" And I was like, really nothing. Like at the time, what I knew about Parkinson's disease is that Michael J. Fox had it and he had a tremor, and Muhammad Ali. That was sort of all that I knew at the time. And so I told Andy that I would do as much research as I could to sort of figure out how to best help him through functional exercise. Now, functional exercise is the kind of exercise that you do to prepare your body to function in everyday life. So, for example, what do? We reach up to a cupboard and we open it and we pull something down. We reach down to our shoes and we tie our shoelaces. We carry a suitcase. So functional exercise would be exercises that put your body into that range of motion with resistance to strengthen the muscles you need to function in everyday life. So as I was working with Andy, I learned about the Mark Morris Dance Group's Parkinson dance class going on in New York City. And it was literally at that moment that when I heard the word dance and Parkinson's in the same sentence, it was like one of those Oprah, like, oh, moments, the sky opens up. Because what I knew as a classical dancer or a trained dancer is that dance, number one, is uplifting, right, for our spirits. But dance naturally works on posture, openness, alignment, coordination, range of motion, flexibility, staying on a beat. So all of these and sort of build strength in our muscles without using weights, right? All of those things I already knew were going to be helpful for Andy, right? So that already then just made sense. What I learned in the training program in New York City was something maybe even more important. When we had a community class during the training program, in the community class, we invited the people with Parkinson's disease who were taking these classes in New York. And it was the first time I was in a room full of people with Parkinson's disease. I had no idea what to expect. I only know 2 people with Parkinson's disease at that time. I saw a lot of people coming into the dance studio hunched over, shuffling gait, some dyskinesia, slowness, mask of Parkinson's, right? We all know what that is, when there's not a lot of expression that can come on cue, right? So I saw this coming into the dance space. Then the music started, and David Leventhal started teaching, and the entire room went like this. And all of a sudden, I saw everyone who was here do this. And I saw brightness in people's eyes. And I saw people connecting and seeing one another. I saw people being seen. I saw people who had a tremor. All of a sudden, there was no tremor when they were doing certain movements. There were people who came into that studio with a walker who were later on during the class waltzing without a walker. So if you need any more to be sold on an idea, I don't know. So I saw people come into a room very closed in and very small and leave very big and open and smiling. The expression was there. And I was like, I need to do this in Toronto. This needs to happen in Toronto. So I made it my mission to offer one free class a week for people living with Parkinson's disease in Toronto, and was able to connect with neurologists in the city and talk with them and tell them about this idea. And right now, it was just an idea. Um, and on the very first day that we were holding these classes, there was a blizzard outside. And we all know how fun it is to get around in a blizzard. You know, it's hard enough for people with Parkinson's disease to get around when the sun is shining, right? To get out of the house, to, maybe take public transportation or have to have someone to drive you somewhere. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of logistics that are tough. Um, and I thought, well, nobody's going to come to this class. There's a blizzard today. And more than 15 people showed up on that very first day. 15 very brave, courageous souls who were essentially looking for a place where they might feel a little bit better. And from that first day, that 15 turned into 20, turned into 30, turned into a waiting list, turned into another class and another class, and classes throughout the greater Toronto area. And today we have many classes all over, and we're expanding far and wide. Why is this working? Why are people coming? Why are we dancing? And, a few of you take our classes, so you would probably best be able to describe, but I can talk a little bit about the tricks that we're using, and a little bit about the sort of special sauce of the program. What the way that we learn to dance and the way that we dance as professional dancers is through imagery and visualization and storytelling. So it is very we're finding that it is really helpful in our Dance for Parkinson's classes to really use a lot of this imagery and visualization to maybe create new neural pathways to movement. Because we understand that it's very difficult to dictate automatic movement, to get and initiate that automatic movement. So when I talk about automatic movement, I'm talking about swinging our arms as we walk, right? I'm talking about, I want a sip of my coffee, so I grab my coffee cup and I drink it. My phone rings, I answer my phone. All of those things, I'm not instructing my body to do those things. They're happening sort of automatically. My brain, it's just now, as we know, those with Parkinson's disease, those dopamine cells that have died off are limiting that capacity and even blocking that capacity to have the automatic movement. So now my brain has to tell you need to reach down with this hand to answer the phone. And then we also know that sometimes we freeze in the middle of that. There's like a circuit break. So now my brain's saying, you need to reach for your coffee cup. My hand's not going, right? So what we're doing in dance actually is hopefully providing a way for the body to administer these automatic movements through choreography, through music, through imagery and visualization. So if I said to everybody right now, raise your right hand, right? I don't know how many people just went right away, raised because I can't see you. But if I said there's a balloon floating away and you need to catch it, what does that look like, right? I want you to look up and see a butterfly and catch it, right? we're sort of almost tricking our body into movement. So in the dance classes, we use a lot of these cues and images and setting of environments. So we're not really being mechanical in terms of the movement, right foot front, left foot back. No, it's splash in a puddle in the front, splash in a puddle over here. Now reach out for your friend's hand, that kind of thing. Um, and, all of these years later, 15 years later, it's working. It is working in the classes, and we know it's working, because we hear it daily from our participants. But we also know it's working because there's research being done on this. There's research being done on the benefits and the efficacy of dancing with Parkinson's. And what we're learning in over 40 peer-reviewed studies is that it is, in fact, helping to improve gait in participants. It is, in fact, helping to lift mood. It's helping to improve self-confidence and, what's the word that I'm looking for? Not self-confidence. I'm going to come back to it because it's blanking. It's the Bas Blom study, Jess. It's Jess will fill in all the blanks for me. Don't you worry. Um, um, it's also helping improve posture. It's helping to improve coordination. So all of these things are being studied. Various different dance styles are being studied, and some studies are longer than others. Some sample sizes are longer than others. So did Jess just write something in? Yes. Oh, thank you. um, the 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 research is being done, and the research is showing that this program is beneficial physically, emotionally, and cognitively. But I think the most beneficial thing about this program, which is the gateway to everything working and feeling good, is the social connection. This program is based on connecting with others. And, in our in-person classes prior to COVID, our classes throughout the city were maybe that one time that participants got out of the house that week, that it was important enough for them to go and see their dancing friends, to go through all of the challenges of getting out of the house, right? And showing up. We had one participant's daughter say that her mother, after classes were on Wednesday. So from Wednesday night until the next Wednesday, it was always about the next Wednesday. The classes provide something to look forward to, right? Something to take with you, to enjoy, to celebrate, to let it all sink in, and then to look forward to it again. And this is very much about the social interaction, the inclusive community. You are now in a place where everybody understands you. You are now in a place where we want you to leave that patient persona behind. You're an artist now in the classes. So a lot of people say, I'm not a dancer. I have 2 left feet. I actually hate dancing. I'm no good at it. This class is for you. I promise you it is, because this class is so much more than dancing. It is an opportunity for you to become, maybe reclaim a little bit of maybe who you once were, pieces of that, or maybe discover who you can become. In all of our classes, whether they're online and in person, you now have the permission to explore. You have the permission to go beyond the boundaries that you've maybe set for yourself or that other people have set for you. You get to be an artist, and you get to explore in any way that feels good to you, and then express it through your body, through your movement, through your face, through your connections with others. you get to express in a way in our program probably that you've never experienced before. There's something really special going on here. Um, in our programming through the years, we also in person brought in world renowned, performers, artists, choreographers, visual artists, poets, uh, to work with our dancers in workshops. We've done intergenerational work as well almost every year because we feel that it's very important that this is not just a class you come and dance and you go. As I said, this is a program where you go into that inner artist. Even if you didn't know you had an inner artist, we all do, right? So in order to do that, we need to inspire you with all of these different ways of exploring your artistry. And so the program was very rich with all of these things. And Jessica, who's on the call, who is our director of outreach and community engagement and community programming, has worked with us in a different capacity from the beginning with Luminato, with intergenerational projects. And she's, connected us with many, many incredible professional artists from around the world to work with our program. And when these artists come and work with us, they're absolutely blown away by our dancers with Parkinson's disease. Because I think there's a preconceived notion that they're going to be with very, unwell people who can't move. And it's actually the opposite. Our dancers with Parkinson's many are pushing all of the boundaries as artists. And there's so much, because the permission is given to go wherever you want to go, there's so much beauty. There's so much beauty that happens. So then COVID hits, right? We had 15 locations going throughout the city. Then COVID hits in March 2020. And our program is an in-person program. That's what we do. We touch. I mean, did you know that by touching someone, you release that bliss hormone, that connection hormone or chemical, oxytocin, makes you feel good, makes you feel connected. And in our classes, the first thing we do is welcome you in with touch, and we hug. We're a big hugging group. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do what we do without touching each other? The mission of Dancing with Parkinson's is to bring people out of isolation with Parkinson's disease. Now we're all in isolation. And so basically a few days into the pandemic, we jumped online and we invited our dancers with Parkinson's disease online with us. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had never really even used Zoom. And I just invited people to come and dance with me, to come and actually say hi. So for 20 minutes, we moved around in this very space. You're going to see my living room in a little bit from now. And at the end of the 20 minutes of moving together, I said, who wants to do this tomorrow? And everybody put up their hand. So that was March, I think, 15th, 2020. We have not taken a day off dancing together since then. March 15th, 2020. We are now April something, 2023. We haven't taken a day off because what is happening with this online community is we all have an opportunity to show up with our camera on, camera off. Not feeling so great today, keep my camera off, but I'm hearing the stories of other people. Oh, this person would understand what I'm going through. Oh, I have something to learn from this person. Or I can actually just connect. I can connect by actually saying hello. I can connect by dancing. I can connect by sharing a story or hearing someone else's story. And I'm also dancing. That relentless daily dose of activity. We all hear that exercise is cumulative. Dance is exercise. And if you can do 20, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, you are literally leagues ahead of everybody else. 20, 30 minutes of our dance program consistently people are now telling us who take our program that they feel better now post-pandemic than they did prior to the pandemic. After 3 years of, essentially isolation and staying in our homes, they're going to their doctors and their doctors are like, "What are you doing?" "Dancing with Parkinson's." This is what we're hearing. We're hearing people say, "Without DWP, I wouldn't get up in the morning." That it's how I start my day. I don't actually answer the phone between 11 and 11:30. And I think people are coming for the exercise, the exploration of artistry, um, and the connection, the community. I will invite any of you who are dancing with us to maybe speak to that, and maybe share a little bit about your experience as part of that online community. So that class happens every single day, 11 a.m. It's free. We have multiple classes that happen outside of the 11 a.m. that are also free of charge. There's a Broadway class, a standing class. There's a full length class if you want something a little bit longer in length. And then we have classes in person again. And we're really looking to expand into more communities throughout Ontario and throughout Canada. That's really our mission, to get all of you people with Parkinson's disease and your care partners and your families dancing with us, because it's a little bit of a magic pill, I'd say. When you start dancing, I dare you to say it's not working for you. I dare you. You will have to show me that evidence, because we have people dancing with us using wheelchairs, walkers, people who, for periods of time have to go to hospital, and they're dancing with us or listening to the music or connecting in from their hospital bed. You come as you are in our program. You absolutely come as you are, how you are in that moment. And like we said at the beginning of this webinar, if it changes that next minute, you keep coming as that person and then that person, right? It all is welcome. And that is the most, I think, important thing. It's not just welcome, it's celebrated, right? So online, we continue to do all of these arts-based and community collaborations with incredible artists. We just celebrated our 15th anniversary at the Art Gallery of Ontario and danced to all the music of Leonard Cohen. We had Fan Wu working with us, who is just this incredible poet. We do virtual tours of galleries. We go to the ROM in person. We have musicians coming in. And one of the most incredible, I think, things that was really participant led coming out of our online program is our Salon series, which is, we call it Salon, a slice of life, where we invite all of our participants to share a slice of their life. So that could be, a hobby or an experience they had, or a trip, or something they're learning themselves and they want to share. It's really a chance for all of us to give back to others so that we can learn, we can connect, we can learn something new. And there's been so many topics, and they're so varied, and every presentation is so interesting. And it can be as casual as what I'm doing right here, or some people have, presentations, and we have an incredible coordinator named Akil who helps everyone put their presentations together. And Ken, who is here today, was our very, very first presenter. And you really set the stage, Ken, and you set the bar pretty high. Your presentation was awesome. So there's sort of so much more that we do than just dance, as if just dancing wasn't enough. We have cooking demos. Basically, there's no end to what we will explore. If you bring us an idea into the program, we'll go there and we'll try it out, because anything is possible in my mind. We now have over, I think, probably 4,000 people registered across the country, something like that, for our online classes. And, many classes going in person throughout the Greater Toronto area. And we hope to dance with all of you in person. So we are looking to, as I said earlier, expand in communities outside of the GTA. And all we need is your vote of participation. Yes, I want to attend a class once a week or once a month, and we will make that happen. We will come to you. We will train instructors to make sure that in addition to taking the online classes to get your daily dose, that you can also experience the other benefits of actually being in person in a studio dancing with us. So that's all happening, and that's very cool. And I wanted to share a video with you that our incredible executive director program coordinator Lisa put together, which really sort of shows what we've been up to over the last 15 years. So please enjoy this. And then I thought we'd come back for some questions and answers. So let's expand that for you. And here we go.
I don't know what it is about dance. You can say something in a movement that a word can never say.
Without dancing with Parkinson's, I probably wouldn't get up in the morning. So it's inspired me to keep going.
Because one is a very good community. Secondly, it keeps you active.
I can see a huge change in my fluidity and sense of balance because it was every day.
As soon as we start, everything in my system comes up, and then I just keep on dancing. It makes me happy.
There's a problem with coordination. Many people like me have coordination between legs and hands. And this thing also helps you to overcome that discoordination. So far, it has made a difference. And I've also managed to learn a thing or two about ballet.
The dance class has been exceptionally good at helping me limber up. over the course of the day. So I come daily.
And we don't feel that we are so far apart. We feel very united, a family, a community, and we care about each other.
I'm not here to tell you how amazing DWP is, though, because we all know that. My message for you today is spread the word. I learned so much from my patients, and what I want all of you to do is not just tell your friends and your family members about how amazing dancing and DWP is. I want you to tell your neurologist. I want you to tell your family doctor. I want you to tell your geriatrician. I want you to tell your physiotherapist.
humanism or a sense of humanity by dancing with people who have Parkinson's. We all present different kinds of symptoms. Some are, how shall I say, further along in the illness than I am. But nevertheless, we connect. And you see it particularly at the end when we take each other's hands and do a little bow to each other and to our teacher. And I think that is a wonderful sense of connectedness and a wonderful sense of humanity.
So, I mean, I've been doing this program 15 years and it still brings me to tears to really look back and to look where we are and to take it all in, this very special thing that we do. And hopefully you were able to see in the video the real raw human connection that people are making every single day with this program. And I invite you all to do that with us. We're here for you 365 days a year. So with that, Lisa, Lisa, if you're there, put your video on. I want to clap for you for that video. Lisa put that video together. Isn't it incredible? It's incredible. I've seen it so many times. I always cry. I'm wondering if anybody has any questions or comments. Please, let's just open the floor and bring them to me. And also, you know, if any of you who are dancing with us wanted to say something about your experience dancing with us, I think that would be absolutely lovely.
Sarah, I just want to say how lovely, again, that video was to watch. Really, truly beautiful. And in full transparency, I also had the opportunity to see that video before, and I think it still resonates pretty heavy in that emotional connection. I think what really resonates with me for this program is something you had talked about previously, and you can see that within the video is when you said, "Come as you are." You know, that really that inclusive aspect for everybody in that video, that where there's that safe space. If you're not feeling well that day, or maybe your medication, you're more, just the timing was on your off cycles, whatever it is, that there's a space for you and there's a community for you. And I also really love the idea of the storytelling. That we know with Parkinson's, there's often challenges with communication. So building the opportunity to express oneself, maybe a bit in nonverbal ways is so powerful. And I really thank you for bringing this to Ontario and to building this community and your passion for that. The fact that it's been going on for 3 years nonstop online is pretty miraculous. And I thank you for sharing that and to continue to grow those supports in the Parkinson's community.
Thank you, Casey. That means a lot. Thank you.
So yeah, if anybody has questions or wants to share, this is a wonderful opportunity.
Don't be shy, y'all.
I'm not usually shy, but I get nervous. I found out about dancing with Parkinson's about 3 months after my husband passed away, having had it for 20 years. And I was just in a real down mood and could not get out of it. And I heard about dancing with Parkinson's and started coming probably in about July of 2020. And I've hardly missed a day since, because I'm like so many people. I just look for, it's almost 11 o'clock. I got to move my furniture and turn my lights on and off and get myself all ready, because it really is the highlight of my day. And even for those of us who don't have Parkinson's, the community and the involvement, getting to know people like Ken here, who is on my left on the screen, and so many other people, and Sarah and Jess and Lisa and everybody that's involved. It's magical. So come join.
Thank you, Ruth. You are magical. Ken, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience?
Sure. Well, as far as I know I joined in March of 2020, like shortly after the program started, but I don't exactly remember which day. I don't record things. I keep a better diary now, because I'm recognizing that sometimes we want to look back. But so I've been coming. I don't make it out 7 days a week. I got other things that sidetrack me, but I come out as often as I can. And as you say, the community that's created is very significant. You can tell the Parkinson's is affecting my voice, particularly this morning. But just to show how responsive Sarah is to the program, I remember that back in the day, it was about a 20 or 25-minute dance. And I recall one day that somebody said, "Why can't we do this for half an hour?" The next day, it was half an hour. It's a side effect. I've always been an emotional person, but whether it's a side effect of the medications or what, I think that's probably what it is. But I'm way more emotional now than I even used to be. Anyway, it's great. I look forward to it on the days I can make it. Like Ruth, I have my alarm set ahead, well, mostly for medication times, but it ties in with 11 o'clock dance. And some days I feel pretty mobile, like I did today. And yesterday, Sarah's doing this, and I did like this. I just couldn't get my body going, but I did what I could. It's a great program. I recommend it to anybody.
Thank you, Ken. And I'm not on Parkinson's medication, but I'm still tearing. But I think so. I have no excuse. But I think Ken really speaks to the fact that this program is customized for our people with Parkinson's disease. We have invited seniors to dance with us. And that really started during the pandemic when there were so many isolated seniors in our country who were not seeing their families, who were not, leaving their rooms, especially in long-term care homes. And what we've learned is that although this program is specifically designed for people with Parkinson's disease, that seniors are and others are getting the same benefits. So why wouldn't we invite these other populations of people who need this as bad as people with Parkinson's do? And that's what makes this program even more inclusive, even more colored and even more accessible, is that everyone is welcome and we all have our own bag of tricks and what brings us to this program, right? And that's all good and it's all okay and it's all accepted and it's all not judged. And I personally don't know any other place on earth where that happens. Like I don't. But if you do, tell me.
Now, when you talk about, obviously we know there's so much benefit to exercise and movement. I think that's been so well studied, and especially for people with Parkinson's. But all of our elders, right, we all need that, especially as we get older and maybe become a little bit more sedentary. And like you had mentioned, COVID's created a lot more challenges, right, for people accessing programs. But with specific to dance, is there specific, dance movements or types of specific forms of dance that are better or more beneficial for individuals, maybe specifically with Parkinson's over another type of dance?
I would say any dance that gets you moving, that gets you responding to music is the right dance for you. Any type of music you like, move to the music. There is no wrong way. There's no wrong way to do anything. As long as you're moving and dancing, right? So I always say, just put on music and let your body go. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't tell your body that you have to look a certain way or feel a certain way. Just let your body respond to the music. Music is so powerful. It can infuse a lot of good feelings and a lot of bad feelings too, right? Like depending on what your memories associate with certain songs. So if you want to feel good, put on some of that music that reminds you of one of those best days of your life, some great party or wedding that you went to, or, whatever it is for you, put that music on and just move to it. And then go, how do I feel now? Guarantee you feel a lot better than before you had that music on, right? But no, there's not one specific style of dance that works better than the other. In our classes, we do all styles. It's all sort of from a very classical base. And then we try and touch on everything, really, because there isn't a superior style. As long as you keep working on that range of motion and the posture and the flexibility and coordination, then that's fine. And most dance styles do that.
That's wonderful. It's really all just about movement, right? Yeah.
I have a question. It's Maureen.
Hi.
Hi. Since Gary was diagnosed, we're pretty active anyway. We don't have a car, so we walk or cycle everywhere. And we've been trying, Alex Curtin is on YouTube. He does movement with Parkinson's, and Gary's done boxing. And, we've tried everything, but I think it's sustaining it, and you'd have to be doing something you really enjoy. So maybe you can address that with like when you're talking, it seems like the enjoyment aspect and the uplifting part of dance is what maybe sets it apart from other forms of movement.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, you definitely make a very important point. You cannot underestimate the value of fun and enjoyment, right? Do not so if you find something enjoyable and it gets you moving, you're going to do more of it, right? We really strive to make the program fun, right? When we say come as you are, like we laugh a lot and we're silly and we, we try and entertain each other, in many ways and have a little bit of poking and prodding and, like a family, like a lot of people say, it feels like we're part of a family. And, our family can be a little dysfunctional at times. I'm not going to lie. We have a good time. And then the dance. So that's the sort of social fun aspect. And then the dance aspect is we play great music and we take your requests so that we make sure we're playing music you want to hear, right? And again, it's that permission to be silly. If I'm playing Shake, Shake, Shake Sonora, like I want you to shake it out. And God, that just feels fun and good. In our lives, we have to walk in straight lines a lot of the time and color inside the lines. Dancing with Parkinson's, you get to color outside the lines as much as you want. And that's enjoyable.
So there's a lot of dance studios that are exploring dancing with Parkinson's. How does a dancing instructor get involved and potentially integrate that into their program?
We have a training program that happens in Toronto once a year. And then we also train teachers sort of one-on-one if there is a demand to do that. But yeah, they just reach out to us and then we have them take part in a training program. And if they're going to work with us, then we mentor them through the setting up of programs, etc.
That's wonderful. And so people can just reach right out through the website?
You got it. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. That's wonderful. Does anybody else have any questions? We're being mindful of time and getting close to the end. I'm wanting to open the floor up for any other last questions or even some comments, of course. All right. Well, I thank everyone for joining us today. It's been a wonderful opportunity to learn more about the joy and benefits of movement. And thank you, Sarah, for not only creating this program and for advocating for it, for just the passion that you're bringing towards it. It's been a joy today to listen to everything and to learn more about it as well.
Thank you. I really, really, really hope that everybody who is attending this webinar signs up, registers. It's a quick registration. It's all free of charge. You can keep your cameras off. No one will even know you're there, but I do urge you to come and try it out for yourself a couple times. And hopefully it's something that you start doing regularly. I will just add this piece. Dr. Lorraine Callier, who you saw in that video, is, one of the sort of top researcher scientists, patient care neurologists in North America. And she believes in our program so much that she joined our board and she recommends the program to all of her patients. So, if you have one of the best neurologists recommending this program to your patients, there's got to be something to it. So for that alone, I would say just try it out, just try it out, because it's in that bucket of can't hurt, might help, right? And I think you'll find that it not only doesn't hurt, but it helps a lot. And it's a really lovely, lovely place to be that I feel so privileged to be able to be part of every single day. So hope we see y'all there. And thank you so much for having us. And yeah, I look forward to getting to know all of you.
Wonderful. Well, we will have the recording up on YouTube very shortly, so people can continue to access and again watch this as many times as they want, and share some of the information that I see has been provided in the chat to make that a little bit more accessible for people to connect with the program.
Amazing. Amazing. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
you.
Thank you.